Don't blink your biting. Welcome back to our show. Because I'm doing well, having a wonderful day on this glorious uh, 21st August 2025. I don't feel like making this video. I don't feel at all. I've been doing so much Prison Break lately that I'm kind of oversaturated. We've been playing Elden Ring for so long that I'm kind of saturated. However, today we're finishing Elden Ring, and I want to do some. Um, I forgot where it is. Some Prison Break. We did 3 episodes this morning. I'm gonna do 3 episodes, but I'm gonna see how I feel about 2 episodes. If I still feel good after 2 episodes, I'm gonna continue. Otherwise, we're stopping. Because I'm not gonna force myself, but at the same time, I'm restricted with time. So we got season 1, episode 14, Like a Rat. So I am so freaking excited to start this. Michael is trying to retarder, what's retarder in English? Retarder. To slow down the execution of Lincoln by sabotaging the electric chair, while Nick and Veronica are looking to identify the body that's supposed to be Stedman. So kind of like a cool episode. So we know yet last time that Lincoln is in a position of he's gonna get on the chair, and there's no way they can stop him. However, they could gain some more time if they can show that the electric chair isn't doing well. They have to restart the process, and it takes up to 3 weeks. So that's what they're doing. Is that true? I don't freaking know. I want to pretend like it's true because I want to believe that Schofield's brothers. So here we are. So one of the first moment that we have is the ending of last one. So we know that in the hospital, they replaced the drain, which was the main source of exit. So Michael's like, yo, we're not gonna be able to do it. T-Bag is like, no. Fuck that. Now, Lincoln is in a horrible position because he moved, and because he moved, they lock him up. So even if they were to help him out, Lincoln is locked up through the handcuff. However, this is kind of like a good thing because they were not ready. So super cool. Bellic is trying to get some friends. This is actually a super sweet moment, but a super sad moment for Bellic. So Bellic comes in. He's like, who wants to go out? And nobody wants to go out with him because he doesn't have any friends. So what he does instead is he's like, you're a bunch of wussy. So he goes back to the work. You see that everybody is there. The guy locked the door. So Bellic is pissed off. He said, everybody in your cell, but somebody's missing. That somebody that's missing is DB. So they push him back. They make it a big scene of putting the guy back in jail. They make it a big scene of putting every people that were involved into the Prison Break in there. You hear this? This is gonna be crazy. So LJ is looking, and Warren is like, are we gonna be proceeding with the execution tomorrow with Lincoln? And the Warren's like, yeah. So now Michael is asking Sarah, can I please talk to my brother? She tries, she's not able to. And this is when he puts pressure on Sarah. And it's kind of a sad thing because he's like, yo, please, you need to help me. I'm breaking out of here. He tells Sarah, which is a voice of treason, but at the same time, a voice of reason and treason all at the same time. It's a sad thing because Sarah will end up helping him, but at what cost? We'll see that later on. So we got Veronica and Nick who are talking to a lawyer who he wants to get time, and he wants to examine the body. So for example, because Ale told him the body of the Stedman, he's not dead. They say, who's in the coffin? If they can prove that the body that's in the coffin is Stedman, then Lincoln get executed. If they can prove that it's not Stedman, then they get it. So now the trick is they talk about everything. DB's like, don't worry, if there's a problem with the chair, you're good. Now here is the problem. Here's the problem. Tweener, but at the same time, I feel bad about Tweener because Tweener, yes, he snitches. Yes. Tweener snitches, but at the same time, it's bad because Tweener is, how do I say this? He tried to get help from the cellmate, and he feels alone. He feels in danger. So he's thinking about survival. And the problem with Tweener is he puts everybody before him. So now he's like, yo, time for Tweener to take over. But that's understandable. We have a scene between Sarah and Lincoln that's about Michael, and they both care about the same people. That's kind of super important. Lincoln asks Sarah, hey, please, when I'm gone, make sure that he's okay. Bellic is offering burgers and fries to Bellic, which is super nice because that's a price of betrayal. But again, Tweener is not, you don't say in the show, but he's young. So now they show the chair. However, the problem is, Tweener tells them that they talk about the chair. Now, this is why, a problem why? Because Tweener doesn't know what they're talking about, but Bellic does. Like, okay, well, there's a problem with the chair. There's not going to be an execution. So, they're talking. Now, ends up there's a rat in there. Now, who put the rat there? I don't know. There's no proof, but the machine is broken. However, Bellic is like, yo, nobody knows this except for us three, which is me, you, and the technician. We're gonna be executing. And then the technician's like, no, I'm gonna lose my job. But they still do it. So we got the tribunal, we got the process, which Veronica said, I want to have a chance to prove the body isn't the body that you think. So how are they gonna do that? They're gonna do the teeth. Everybody has different teeth. Everybody has a different teeth mark. So that's how they do it. Michael was able to do, this is so cool. This is so cool. I'm gonna be honest, and again, you can hate me if you want. I don't really care. The character that plays Michael, to me, isn't the... how am I say it? The character that plays Michael isn't the best actor. I don't think he's bad, but I don't think he's the best compared to like Sucre, somebody like Abruzzi. However, I think it's quite smart. I think... Okay, so this is going to be very disgusting of me to say, but here I am, okay? I think they wanted to put Michael as this very intelligent person, book smart, but not emotionally smart. I think they wanted to make him on the spectrum a little bit, which is, if that's the case, then it's well acted. If it's not the case, it's not well acted. So, for the first time, Michael does a MasterChef class. So how does he know that the electric chair to the pop is because the lighting of the building shiver. So the electric chair requires a lot of electricity. A lot of electricity. Now, again, this is super cool because Lincoln is able, thanks to, I don't know why, but he's able to have Michael around him as a pair. So his last moment is with Michael. Now there's a couple of cute moments where Michael is like, yo, I want to push. And Lincoln says, bro, stop. We're not going to be able to escape enough. And that's kind of cool. So LJ's freaking out because Bell's about to die. Michael and Lincoln are playing card, but Michael let him win. Lincoln knows. It's like, bro, I know that you're letting me win. Stop that. There's a moment between Veronica and LJ and Lincoln talk. It's actually quite nice. It's a beautifully acted. It's really well acted because you don't necessarily buy the relationship between the father and the son. But at the same time, Lincoln wasn't part of his life for the longest of time. They care about each other, and that's you feel it. We got Sarah who goes to her father and say, please view the document. Please make sure that the guy is he's guilty. So she wants to do this for Michael. She wants to do this for Lincoln. Now, I personally think she did it more for Michael, but she also did it for Lincoln. So she's like, yo, please check it out, Dad, because Dad is the governor, Governor Tancredi, I think. I don't know, but he has a very important job. Now, so that's kind of cool. So we go on the chair. Um, we have a phone call, which is kind of disgusting because the Pope is like, yo, the father of Sarah reviewed the case. You're still guilty. Now, the next scene is the vice president and the father of Sarah goes in and they talk and they shake hands, which means that she has nothing to do with it, right? You see Lincoln, who has good memories. Think about his son. Think about his. You think about his son. He thinks about everybody that was there for him. That's pretty much the episode. So the episode doesn't end with Lincoln dying, but it doesn't end up with him being saved either, which is pretty fucking good. Um, okay. Episode 15 in extremis. Lincoln obtained a delay when a judge ordered that the body of Stedman be examined. Sucre consent to helping Michael to look through a new passage through the infirmary. So what is cool right now is this is why the show is actually really good, because it makes sense even if you're a dumbass, which I am. They talk about the prison, which is point A. They talk about the infirmary, which is point B, and they talk about how it's the only way here is the highway 66, right? So then the highway 66 doesn't become something. They have to change the plan. The plan is still from point A to point B. You know, it's amazing. So I love that. We got the execution. Now we have they putting everything. Now I am not a professional at how the chair works. However, if you saw the green line, you know that this is how it works. Lincoln, look at this. Look at this scene last time. You see his father, and his father is there. You know what? You just fell. It's a freaking ice pack. Yeah. So Lincoln is safe. He's not safe, but he has a delay, like I said. So this is actually quite nice. So Lincoln is like, yo, this is a cool scene. Lincoln's like, yo, okay, what's going on? And it's kind of nice because Michael, by the way, thinking about it, we got an important scene. We know that she's the bad guy. So there's two people. There's Lenderman, and then there's the company. The company is really who's behind it. The company is the kind of the Illuminati. The people that pulling the strings. For example, the vice president who paid for her election, the Illuminatis, right? So she's indebted to them. There's two people. So what is cool here is we know that the vice president is a very powerful people. She has two people to choose. Lenderman, who's a soldier, has been there since the beginning, but has failed multiple times, and a person that's coming from the company, which has proved that they're actually like good ass worker, you know. So this is kind of important. So now we have the body. Veronica says, I want to examine the body. I have a right to examine the body, right? Sucre and Michael are talking. Now, it's kind of cool because Link saw his dad there, so you think that his dad has something to do. The way it's put, it's not really well put. So we know his father was there, and Lincoln's like, yo, my father has something to do with it. He's the reason as to why this was stopped. But Lincoln doesn't have a memory of his father. So the way it's put in is actually quite nice. He tells Michael, this is my father, and remember what it looks like. But he doesn't tell him, oh, dad was working for higher people, you know? So it's a case of, I know he has something to do, but in which way, I don't know, right? So he has the Pope, and the Pope says, I can tell you. I don't know who he is. And then this is insane. This is my favorite part. Because the Pope tells Lincoln, this is the guy that went to you, right? And this is the craziest part. This is why the show, see, Prison Break is a great show for a couple of reasons. So now I have to check out something. Okay, it's working. So now I have to do two things. I can't believe it. You wouldn't believe it. Fuck all of your meaning. I got my chance and time to leave. Now I see it. You run and repeat it. So there you go. Oh, can't make a wife out of a hoe. Oh, I'll never find this word, this word. Aha! Okay, give me a sec, guys, because it's kind of important. Fight. Okay, 57, that's very important. Very important. I'm a dumbass. I didn't delete the videos that I uploaded. Uploaded. I never found the pearl. But I'm scared to be alone. You took out a piece of me, and now I bleed internally. Until without you, I can't believe it. You wouldn't repeat it. I lost myself. I fear it. And I know exactly why we didn't do it. Okay, I know exactly why. Because it doesn't appear. This is an old phone, so it doesn't work pretty well. Nature Corn's gonna be it. I'm pretty sure I did though. Okay, so there you go. Oh, can't make a wife out of a hoe. Oh, I'll never find myself. There's I'm scared to be alone. You take out a piece of me, and now I bleed internally. Without you, you can't believe it. Okay. There's so many videos that I have to delete. I don't know why I didn't delete them yet. There you go. That's one of them. That's good. That's really freaking good. Okay, 67 for 45. Remember this, guys. Remember this. 57:45. Okay. There's the one. Double check. 57:45. Yes. You took out a piece of me, and now I bleed internally. Do not without you. Ooh. Okay. So there you go. Now, what I have to do is Nature Corn. Because the trick is, with this one, I'm able to upload more. But the file, because we have such a big amount of file, it's making the phone lag it. So I got you, which is great. Next one. No. 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 I have a 3 hours and 10 video. I'm like, oh, how come the phone is full? Well, guess what, dummy? Yes. That's all I needed. 22 gigs off. Okay, good. Okay, we're good, guys. Solid phone management, right? There you go. Okay, where were we? Where were we with my unfocused ass? Freaking forgot I'm exhausted. Doesn't have to be General Verdon. I had to defeat General Rodan. C'est officiel. Yeah. A new guy is actually pretty important. Good. Let's go. Okay, so like I was saying, that's a really cool part. So we see the guy, and he says, the Pope, he says, okay, well, this was his name. His name was X, right? So then it doesn't ring a bell to Lincoln. However, Michael, the younger brother, of course, remember that his father's favorite baseball player was Will Pratt, which means what? Which means that's the name he used. And this is nice because these are small fragments of information, and you can miss them. First of all, so when you pay attention is actually pretty nice. But it's not only that; it's more a case of, oh fuck. I remember. I get myself some water. Because talking. We've been talking for 54 minutes, guys. Come on. You took out a piece of me, and now I bleed internally. Get to without you. Ooh. Okay, and then of course we're gonna do a mess. Yeah, you see the apartment's a mess. Oh well. Chopstick. I feel like we're going much faster. I feel like we're going much faster than we used to. And I don't know how I feel about it because I don't want to go too fast. But at the same time, the problem with a show like Lost, the problem like a show like I haven't felt this way since Dexter. And Dexter actually liked doing it. Look at this shit. So we're doing Quench Pink Lemonade. With the sugar. It's 9:30. Okay, we'll be done in about 20 minutes. Can you guys believe that we did a whole episode and a half in 20 minutes? Isn't that kind of insane? Pink. Immature as fuck, but hey, I was raised by wolves. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. We got Sucre and Michael. And this is a cool part because Sucre. Okay, the really cool part is you can kind of see who's a good person and who isn't. For example, Sucre is like, Michael, listen, I'm not mad at you, bro. You tried your best. DB is like, Michael, I'm not mad at you, bro. You tried your best. And then characters like Abruzzi. See, Abruzzi it's weird because even though they didn't get off the jail, you can still say like, yo, you give me the witness. We're good, my boy. We're good. So there's no pressure for Michael. However, a character like Teabag, who doesn't give a fuck about anybody but himself, is problematic. You understand? So this is where you have to be careful with the character that you have and the people that you have. But however, like a character like CPAT, to be honest, I think CPAT's a bit pissed, but he's understanding also. He's like, yo, dude, you kind of owe me. You kind of promise and you'll deliver. Versus a character like Teabag's like, oh well, the first thing that Teabag does when they cannot escape, they take a knife out, like, yo, we're escaping. Like, don't, you dummy, you can't. So we're talking about this, that. It's super nice because they're trying to find another escape plan. Michael also have the Total map. So this is smart because Michael could have only he could have been so full of himself. Michael's very cocky. When you think about the character, he's very cocky. He could have gotten only the map that helped him. get it, but he got the whole blueprints of the prison. So if he should be able to take the map to do something else. So we have this other guy, which is kind of important. So this guy, Mr. Fatso, and I can say Fatso because I'm fat too, is a friend of Sucre. This guy. This guy. This guy. He's a friend of Sucre. And what he does, Sucre is like, yo, I'll give you some white clothes for the mental institutes. Now this is also super cool, right? Because what ended up happening is, this is a friend of Sucre, so how can I say this? You see, Sucre since the beginning has been asking Michael, yo, let me in. Then that's finally the one that says, yo, I have a plan, not you. So it's kind of bittersweet for Michael. And I love Sucre, so fuck it. We got the judge that says, okay, well, my brother has been exhumed. This is kind of shitty. Sucre is asking his friend to help him, which is absolutely freaking nice. We get this scene of, this is a very important scene, the baseball thing. And the baseball thing is where we get the father and said, this is my favorite player, and his name is Will Pratt. So these are starting to put in some of the floor they're putting in the wall. However, the problem is they're starting to have a lot. There's a lot that they don't know where they're hiding, right? So definitely a problem. Now, again, this whole scene, they're not super interesting because they keep happening. They keep happening again and again. But basically, what happened is, they get so close to getting caught, because they're trying to get a name of player, and T-Bag knows. So that's pretty much it. Sarah talks with Link and is asking for help, but Link is in a mental space that is kind of hard. We got DB and CPAT who are talking because they're both fathers to a daughter. So what is kind of important here is, and this is something that I actually enjoy, Michael is kind of the glue that's sticking them together. He's the middle piece of everything. We have some cool scene between Abruzzi and Sucre, but we had one cool scene is when they show the wall of the devil. Now we get a good scene between CPAT and DB because they're both father to daughter. So this is kind of cool. We got Michael who's examining the map to say what's up. He's trying to figure out something. He ends up being able to escape. However, it's not enough because they're too close to anything. The friend of Sucre get him a cop's uniform, and he's able to go to the psych ward because the psych ward is less guarded than anything else, which is actually pretty good. So he's going to the steam room, and then the doors are locked, of course. So he's gonna need some keys, but this is a possibility. This is something that's possible. Now, one of the white coats, they call them Blue, are like, yo, guess what? You're not supposed to be here. So Michael is in trouble, but he has to go a couple more times. And he has to be careful because if the guy in white is starting to get suspicious and he look it up, he's gonna see that this is an inmate and not something else. There's a problem later on. Later on, Michael will join the white coats, which is a psych ward. And the guy kind of recognize Michael's like, yo, you're that guard, bro. I recognize you. So we got the doctor that says, no. The teeth prints of the body are the same as dead man. So this is him. This is his body. So the cop comes in and Michael has to hide. And so he hides where? He hides where there's a metal pipe full of steam. And the metal pipe full of steam, what's gonna end up happening is he burned the uniform. So that's the first problem because he burned the uniform, right? Second problem, Michael gets third-degree burn. A lot of his tattoos disappear. So that's a huge problem because he needs a tattoo as a map, right? Bellic is trying to say that Sucre did it, and the problem with Sucre is he's a good cop, and he's a good cop. He's a good prisoner, and he should get his parole to see Maricruz, but because he fucked it up, he fucked it up. Lincoln's tell Veronica, like, yo, I know what to do. I know what to do. You can ask my father for help. Now, what is incredibly cool with this episode is you show the girl. The girl that you presented this episode. Who is the girl? The girl is the person that represents the company, the Illuminati. Right? It's not the real name, but I don't know the fucking name. It's the corporation, the company. But it sounds dumb, so I'm not gonna call it the company. Sorry. We show her, and we show that she has a bit of a what should we call it? There's a situation going on right now, and that bit of situation that's going on right now is the fact that she knows the father of Lincoln. I don't buy it. They're saying that the reason why they want to kill the father of Lincoln, that's why they got him as a criminal. But I don't buy it. See, this is a weak point. So basically, the whole story is that the father of Michael and Lincoln used to work for the company, but he went rogue, right? So get him to come out because he has secret on the company. They're like, okay, well, fuck you. We're gonna kill you. So they put Lincoln to be killed. That way, the father would come out. But that's not true. However, there's a possibility. The prez, the lady, she could ask her brother to pretend that he's dead because he's fucking up, and this will look good on a resume. And then the company has its own agenda. If the agenda are contradictory, then it works. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense. This is the only safe point. So we have a big problem with the tattoo. The map disappeared. So the map is not completed. You know what? We feel good. Let's do another episode. Oh my god. Episode 16. I didn't know which one episode it was, but this is basically such an important episode. This is a backflash. So this is where everybody had a past. What led them here? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do it at La Lost. So what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna go character by characters. And if we forget some things, because I don't remember this by heart, right? I don't remember this by heart. Far from it, but I'm gonna try. Hey, answer, dude, the fuck? Apparently, kids nowadays see they're having sex by saying, I got cracked. Okay, cool, I guess. Okay, so some flashbacks show us how Michael, Lincoln, Sucre, C-Note, and Teabag happened to end up in jail, and how Sarah ended up working at this place. This is, weirdly speaking, a very funny, a very good episode because, not that I remember. So the first character that you see is Lincoln. Lincoln, who had debts, and Lincoln was okay. So I'm gonna have to do it episode by episode, but this one I remember pretty well. So it's gonna be super simple. The first thing we see is Lincoln that has debts, and somebody paid the debt for him. He said he's gonna have to do something. He has to kill someone, which is why he ended up in the place in the first place. The person that he has to kill is whom? The person that he has to kill is the guy that made him end up being on the chair. You got Veronica and Michael. Veronica and Michael are close because Veronica used to be in love with him since the very beginning. They end up together, but Veronica's like, no, I can't. I just can't. And Michael's like, okay. So then Lincoln is calling Michael for help, but he's like, nah, fuck it. And it's sad because Michael is very much a dick. He's very much a dick to Lincoln. So we see Lincoln trying to kill somebody. Doesn't work. You have Sucre and his crew. Now the problem is Sucre we get him when he meets Maricruz. So his crew is whom? Is Sucre, is Carlos, the betrayer, and the fat guy who's in charge of the clothes. Again, I can say fat guys because I'm fat too. So you got Sarah, and Sarah ends up being a junkie. She ends up being a junkie. She is still loved. CPAT used to be a army guy, and what happened is he did some black market. So what happened for CPAT is actually quite simple. He ended up doing some deals to get himself out of harm's way. Why? He went to bring it home. He went somewhere where he saw there was unhuman practices. For example, they were torturing a way they shouldn't have torture. And because of that, what he does is like, yo, okay, That's not allowed. So because of that, he betrays his country. Michael gives shit to Lincoln. Veronica says, "Yo, this is your brother. This is your brother. You have to help him, right? You got the company helping the vice president, which is boring because fuck her." Is that what she tells him or no? So basically, the fight between Michael and Lincoln is Michael tells Lincoln like, "Yo, you're a piece of shit. Mom, she gave you $90,000, and you wasted it. I put it into school." Veronica tells him, "You never had money. Your mom never let you money. Lincoln borrowed money so you could have an education. And that you have, you owe it to him, not to your mom." That's when Michael's like, "Oh my god, I'm a piece of shit." You know? So this is actually quite important. Michael, this is very, 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 very good. So Michael goes to see Lincoln. And Lincoln tells him everything. Now this is brilliant because you see what he does. He's identifying the tape. He's talking to the girl which Veronica talked to. So this is why Michael went to do his own thing, just like Veronica did her own thing. Instead of repeating every single scene, you showed the scene that Veronica did. So we know exactly what's going on. We got Sucre that's like, "Yo, I want to get that girl, and I want to get that girl badly." And Carlos like, "Carlos, you can't. You're not gonna go for her." So Michael started to he tells Lincoln, "I'm gonna get you out of here," and Lincoln tells him, "There's no reason as to why. I'm gonna be transferred to Fox River." Funny thing is, Michael company was the one that designed Fox River, so there's a plan for it. You got Sarah, who goes out with a junkie, and they're getting high, and then Sarah see an accident happen. She could have saved the kid, but she was so high she couldn't save shit. CPAT says, "I'm gonna put a complaint in because what I saw was inhumane." That's how he got his problem. Lincoln getting whatchamacallit? Lincoln getting incarcerated. You got Maricruz and Sucre. And Maricruz is like, "Yo, you better be a good man because I deserve a good man." Sucre's like, "Yeah." Now, this is cool because CPAT goes back in and he started to do odd jobs that ultimately lead him in prison. However, what's cool about it is the brother is the brother of his wife. And you know that they're close, so this is how they got close. So Michael is trying to help him, and there's a paper crane. The paper crane is super important because we know that Michael, Lincoln was a good big brother to him. He was working to help Michael, and every single night he would put a paper crane. The paper crane represents family and family obligation. So Lincoln was putting that here. Why? Because he wanted to show Michael, I am protecting you. I got your back. And then it's funny because when he gave the information to Abruzzi about Fabinaccio, Fibonacci? I don't know. I don't remember his name. Fibonacci. Well, yeah. I don't remember the name. It's Falzone. Fuck, bro. It's Falzone, the bad guy. John Abruzzi. Abruzzi is John, and Fibonacci is the witness. So when he gave the information, he had what? He had the crane. We're 24 minutes in the episode. There's a total of 42 minutes, so about halfway in, and then we meet T-Bag. Now, T-Bag is a horrible story because T-Bag was a criminal before, and you meet this woman, and they're really nice, and then T-Bag is hiding, and she snitched to the police, and that's how he got in jail. So this is how he ended up in jail, and this is why he vows revenge. But technically speaking, he's the only one of the group that didn't commit a crime, and we don't see it. But then explain how you're gonna show somebody murder and rape. You can't. So Sucre is like, "Yo, I love this girl, I love this girl, I love this girl." So Sucre comes in, right? And this is super cool. He goes to steal a liquor store. And then the guy's like, oh my god, here's the money. Sucre takes $100 bill. That's all I need, bro. That's all I need, papi. Because he takes Maricruz out to a nice restaurant. And then the guy, when he comes to steal, he gives him $100. Like, sorry, this time I need more, papi. And he gets arrested. Funny thing is, I don't think he would have gotten arrested if he only stole $100. Yeah, which is kind of crazy. So now the craziest thing is, we learned that Carlos was the one that called the police on him. So let's betray him from day one. We got the Miss President, who buys a house, which we see in the show. We got Sarah, who's going to alcohol. It's Alcoholic Anonymous, but what's gonna happen in most cases is oh. I had an ant going in my house. Ants, you cannot have them in your house. You can have flies in your house, there's no problem, but ants, they're no go. Why? Because ants, they dig. Then you can say your deposit goodbye. No, it's a simple plan. So in most places, what they'll do is they'll do Alcoholic Anonymous and they'll do Narcotic Anonymous together, because they're both dealing with addiction. So this is where Sarah met Bellic. Bellic is like, yo, I work in a prison, and they're looking for a nurse. You could work there. And Sarah's like, you know what? That's a good idea. And then Bellic, he asks her out, and then she says no. Now this could be a scene for Bellic and Sarah to be together, but it doesn't really use it in the show. There's a couple of times where Bellic is flirtatious towards Sarah, but it doesn't move fast forward that. So Michael is studying and he orders Chinese food. And by getting Chinese food, guess what happened? Guess what happens? Guess what happens? You see a girl with tattoos, which give him the ID. Now, I want to say something that I hope doesn't sound racist, but to me, Sipa's wife and his daughter, the reason why he's fighting, she looks like Amanda Cruz. Is it me or she looks like Amanda Cruz? A little bit, right? So she comes in and she tells Sipat like, yo, what's going on? And he gets arrested. And he's like, I have to go to deployment. And then his brother's like, yo, you lied to my sister. And he said, you know how much I love your sister. You know how much I'm willing to do for your sister. And this is it. So then Michael started getting tattoos. He started having everything. He started putting out everything, which is great. The last scene is Teabag and the wife. And he says, yo, I loved you. Why you did it to me? She said, you're a criminal. I had to put you behind jail, behind bars, jail, bars, jars. I'm tired. That's pretty much it. And that is it. The episode ends with the brother of the president being alive. So hell didn't lie. We see Michael, and that's pretty much it. So tomorrow we'll do episode 1, season 17. We'll do episode 17, season 1. I love you guys. Take it easy. See? 3 episodes. We did 6 episodes today, bro. That's what's up.